Hello, good evening, and thanks for joining us on the Sunday evening show. Your window into a great week ahead. This Sunday, the 15th of May, 2016. Welcome to the show. Well, the week was quite eventful for Nigerians. It started with the sarcastic statement made by Prime Minister David Cameron, which attributed Nigeria as the fantastically corrupt nation. Well, there's been a lot of debate in the media, the print media, broadcast, and even social media, if the statement made by Prime Minister David Cameron is suitable or suits Nigeria enough. We'll leave that. I'm just concerned about the sarcasm. Even the blind, the deaf knows that Nigeria is actually fighting corruption, and we are on the way towards it, and I hope someday soon we shall accomplish that. Okay, and of course the increment in fuel pump price from 86 naira to 145 naira. Well, Nigerians, the unions are saying they are going on strike. Some people are for it, some people are against it, and the week is going to determine what will happen, especially on Wednesday when the NLC said it will kick off its strike. And then today on the program, it is dedicated to domestic violence survivors and victims of domestic violence. We'll be taking a look at that. We have several reports on that, and of course we'll be speaking to someone, and that will be after we take this short break. Please stay with us.
The Sunday evening show cuts through the noise and buzz to present to you the news behind the news, places that inspire you, and the events that shape conversations around the nation. Entertainment, fashion and style, plus what's trending will not be left out. Join us at 7:30 p.m. every Sunday on Lagos Television. The Sunday Evening Show, your window into a great week.
Okay, welcome back to the show. You're still watching the Sunday Evening Show on Lagos Television. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and of course, you can send in your messages to our numbers that are scrolling on your screen. We kick off today with a report on domestic violence. It's been on the rise, and we'll take a look at the reason how we have all of these happening these days. Is it an African thing or a global thing? Let's take this report now. Issues of domestic violence are not entirely new in the society. What is on the increase is the reportage. Some people grew up seeing their fathers physically or emotionally abusing their mothers, or in rare cases, vice versa. Reports say nearly 3 in 10 Nigerian women have experienced physical violence since age 15. The same source says 1 in 4 married women experience physical, sexual, or emotional abuse by their husband or partner. One can hardly fault these findings owing to the people's cultural, societal, and even religious belief that the man is the head of the family, while the woman remains submissive, enduring, and most times unheard. Things are changing, with more women finding themselves getting accomplished in their chosen profession and managing their marital lives with renewed vigor. Can this also be attributed to the increase in domestic violence? What are the warning signs?
Not that women don't abuse their husbands as well, but you find out that in most cases, on the side of the woman, it's always a psychological abuse or a verbal abuse where a woman will nag, but will not necessarily go violent. But in the other case of the other gender, you find out that the man, the way, because of their stature and everything, they just lash out, even at times without even thinking about it at all. And I think that is more of it, rather than people trying to get to be equal with the man or to be equal with the other gender. No, I know of lots of cases where a girl had been, or ladies had been, abused by their boyfriends, but they still go ahead with the wedding. You see, when a man or even a woman is aggressive in a relationship, even before you tie the knots, you should see the warning signs there. But most people choose not to see the warning sign, or they think that, oh, when I marry him, he will change. You cannot change a person.
Now that women are taking their positions in the judiciary and or in other public places, men are trying to be jittery. They perhaps believe that women are trying to take over. And so in some homes, some men are resisting it. Because from the history of this patches of domestic violence that we have had, we have come to realize that in those homes, women, well, in few of those homes, these women that were killed were the breadwinners. And so because of the complex that this may have created in the minds of the men, it led to this.
With most of the reported cases resulting to bodily harms, injuries, loss of body parts, and even death, a lot of the women and men are still staying in abusive relationships. Are these stories making the rounds in the media not enough lessons? The case of Ronke Bewaji Shonde, who was murdered allegedly by her husband Lekon at their Tiemo close home, is still under investigation. Series of allegations that theirs was an abusive marriage are all over the media, but they were able to put up appearances that all was well. When exactly should an abused person take a walk, knowing full well that most victims are dehumanized by this society and mistreated by law?
Parents are always the ones that I blame most of the time, because they tell these girls, oh, you cannot come back. I spend a lot of money on weddings. How you want to disgrace me in front of my friends, that, oh, the marriage of 6 months is already on the rocks and everything, forgetting that the life of the girl is at stake. So I think the society really needs to be sensitized.
Taking another look at the growing rate of domestic violence, should marriage be a do or die affair?
Marriage is good, it's desirable, but if it is not working, do not die there. There are other areas that you can make your impact felt. As a matter of fact, marriage is for the home and not for what you can contribute to the society. The fact that a woman is a single mother does not make her less important or less contributive to the society. And therefore, women should not die in that home because they do not want people to know that they are undergoing violence in the society because of the stigma.
There are some situations whereby your wife might offend you. If your wife offends you, instead of you to beat her, there are some ways to give her the punishment. But if the man keeping beating a wife, I think the woman needs to leave the man.
If a man and a woman are together and there's no peace for the lady, whereby the husbands beating every now and then, that can lead to another thing. It is better for the lady to divorce, at least for peace to reign.
It's not good just to marry because of one thing or the other. You have to get a quality partner and make sure that you love one another before getting into the marriage. That one will bring a peaceful house. And in such case, it's hardly for divorce to even arise.
For a man and a woman to agree to come together to form a union, it should be something of life. It's life, time, how will I call it? Contracts. Do you get it? So if there's going to be any need for any abuse, they should settle it amicably.
No, it should not be a do or die affair. It should never be a do or die affair. If the man cannot provide and the woman cannot supplement, let it end like that.
When there are issues or traits of domestic violence, endeavor to speak with someone, seek support mechanism from family, close friends, and even government agencies.
There's an increased zero tolerance by the society to issues of sexual and gender-based violence. People are now more aware of the support services available. People now know where to report. People now know where to go to. And also for us in Lagos State, there's the political will to fight this menace. So those three factors contribute to why you have increase in reporting of these cases. As we always say, every domestic violence case is a potential murder case. Let's not wait until we hear people dying. Let people come out. Let people speak out. Let them get the needed help they need.
The fight against domestic violence is a collective one. Ensure you take a stand today. The younger ones should be trained to respect one another, irrespective of their gender. Let us discontinue the trend of inadvertently raising men who become serial cheats, abusers, women beaters, and generally violent men. And same goes for women. Do not end up being a statistic. Remember, it is not your fault that you're being abused. Let us put an end to domestic violence now. Okay, welcome back. This is an issue that has been a lot of concern to most Nigerians in and outside the country. And right now we have a victim online. We'd like to protect her identity because she's still trying to get out of the situation. And we'll give her name as Bridget. That's not a name, but I'll say Bridget. Bridget, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Good evening, Ma.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm thank God I'm fine.
Okay. What exactly is happening in your home?
It's something like me. It's short. I don't know. I don't know where to start, neither to stop. Really, this thing has been happening not first time, not if I did not the fifth time. Or I've tried to endure because of the sick that I have for this man. So this one that happened now recently, that's what baffled me that I said no. I cannot continue because I don't want to die, because if I have to die now, I will just leave the kids like that. And he said if I even mention that if I die, he's going to marry that woman. So before I die, I have to pack my things and go. What really happened is that I went to video.
Okay.
Are you hearing me, Ma?
Yes, we're listening.
Okay. So I went to video that night. Then he now came back on Friday. He now came to the church and he said I should come out. I should start the street that we should go. And I said, okay. I now packed the street and my dad there, I followed him. When we get home, I started the food. We ate. After everything, he said I should not go to the church today. I'm not okay, fine. Then he said that I like that. Then later, he now came and across me. He said I should stand up. I stand up and sit down. The next thing he said, I'm not as before. I'm not used to do as before. I'm not doing that. Is that the reason that I want to go and be sleeping around with all men? The next thing this man did, he locked the door, he pinned the door. The next thing he pinned my name down. He started blowing me, started giving me all kind of slaps. He started with blood. He used like blood to take everywhere now. So that's why I just decided for my mind that I can't continue. So when he now went to go and boil water and take life, I now run that to one of our aunties at the back. And now that was around 2 with the kids, because the kids was crying around 3 years. That's because the second one is a year plus. 2 of them was crying.
2 children.
About them.
Okay.
With no children. So I have to run that around 2 a.m. in the night, run that to that event. And I know as she opened that, that was where I slept in the next day.
You said that's not the first time he will hit you, but have you tried to contact his family, maybe once or twice that he hit you before now?
That's the family of the man, right?
Yes.
Yes, they know everything about him. The thing is that they didn't say her real mom. That's the real mother that did that, because the real mother is in Benin. She's not feeling that way.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So there is this because of the family that the senior sister to the auntie asked me to forget everything. So that she not even bother to say my own family. So in me, I was like, nah, he kill me. Because he won't say to the world that if you kill me, that is what he told the street that he's going to marry that man.
Okay, what's your plan right now? We've heard series of stories, hitting and all of that has resulted into death, and we don't want that to happen to you. What steps are you taking? Do you know that there's an agency you can report to in Lagos State?
Ma?
Do you know that there's an agency you can report to in Lagos State if you want to take a decisive move?
Yes, of course, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Okay. So what have you done? What do you want to do right now?
Right now, my brother is, I wanted to hello?
We're listening. We can hear you. Hello, we can hear you. Oh. I guess we would have to get I think we now have a gist of what she wants. Actually, she told us in confidence that she wants to move on. But what is delaying her is the financial capability to allow her move on so that she can take care of her children, move to another place and be on her own, because she can't take it any longer. And we hope that she gets the kind of favor she wants, she gets the kind of attention she needs to make this decisive move. Or even if we can invite parties that are involved so that all this tension can be doused. We'll take a short break and we'll still be talking domestic violence. Please stay tuned.
We're making money, we're making money, we're making money this year. We making money this year. No matter what them do, just be better this year. This year, this year, this year. I do it. I saw what's in it. I saw what's in yo. I saw what's in go. They don't feel like yo. I saw what's in it. I saw what's in yo. I saw what's in go. My graduation this year, my promotion this year, this year, this year, this year, my freedom this year, getting married this year, this year, this year, this year. I be molemo, kole moleo, rokomoko. I love you at home. All the cars sweet. The music is sweet. Audrey. If you believe, say amen, amen, amen. Amen, amen, amen. Audrey.
The Sunday evening show cuts through the noise and buzz to present to you the news behind the news. places that inspire you, and the events that shape conversations around the nation. Entertainment, fashion and style, plus what's trending will not be left out. Join us at 7:30 p.m. every Sunday on Lagos Television, the Sunday Evening Show, your window into a great week.
Still watching the Sunday Evening Show on Lagos Television, and we have a women rights activist online. She also works on social issues, especially domestic violence issues, and that's Seun Obajolu in Maryland, United States of America. Hi, Seun, how you doing?
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, then, we're talking domestic violence, and I just want to ask you, I know that you take this across the globe. You've been to Nigeria. You are in Nigerian, of course, and you also do this in U.S. Is it an African thing, or it's different? Is domestic violence different in other parts of the world?
That's funny that you asked that question. It's actually not a Nigerian thing, so I don't want us to have that impression. It's a worldwide phenomenon. We have it here and have it everywhere else. The only thing that makes the difference is the law that backs the punishment or whatever, or the punishment against domestic violence.
Okay.
That's the only thing that makes the difference.
So what difference have you identified?
When you say the laws, we have stricter laws here. People have a misconception that the developed world belongs to women, but that's not it. They're just after making sure everybody's rights are preserved. So they do have stricter laws. I mean, if domestic violence occurs here, we're able to call the authorities, and steps are taken against the abuser, male or female.
A lot of steps are being taken, especially in Lagos. We have a domestic and sexual violence response team. But I think what people are afraid of doing is reporting, coming out to name and shame, coming out to report their spouses, because it's not a female thing right now. Men too are being violated. So how then do we manage this, the culture of silence?
The culture of silence, that's one of the very, very great problems that we do have. And this has been going on for a while because, it's been passed on from generations where you're not supposed to talk about, certain shameful things in your home. What we can do is actually creating more awareness. What I try to say is domestic violence has been happening for a long time. As children, or when we were younger, we probably saw, I like to say this, Papa make her beat him, Mama make her up, right? Yeah. And it was just the normal thing. But we need to get the message out there that no matter how normal it looks, it's not normal. And if this is happening to you, you need to speak up and get the right help that you need.
What are the danger signs that you get to see, either in a relationship or in a marriage?
Danger signs, okay. Are you saying when the abuse is already happening or before?
Before or during.
Okay. Domestic violence, I usually like to start with that. It's a systematic pattern of control. Okay? It's not a one-time incident that happened where, somebody got physical. It's a systematic pattern of control. Okay. So you find that these people are either over-jealous, they can't control their tempers, they get very, very emotional and angry quickly. They have an inferiority complex, which could be related to maybe the socioeconomic status or educational background. Maybe they don't want the other person having a higher, status than they are. So there are little signs to look out for. They can be very over-possessive sometimes, And the thing is, it's a cycle. When this happens, they go back and apologize and say, I love you, buy flowers, get you money or whatever. But guess what? The next week, they go right back to the same thing. It's a cycle.
Okay, how does emotional violence, or does it ever grow into physical